All righty. Well, welcome everybody. Oh, it's a different notification this time. So I'm Linda Fabry. If you don't know me yet, I'm an intuitive artist, an expressive arts facilitator. I'm a clairvoyant empath, so I have the ability to tune into other people's energy. I'm just more sensitive to it. We all have that ability, but I'm sensitive to other people's energy. I do readings for people. I started my career as an artist like back in 2001, but I've been using art as a way to read for people since 2012. I don't know. I graduated with my degree in art therapy in like 2010, and it was during that time that I got trained in healing touch, and I started practicing visual journaling, and then I started connecting the dots with how art is the way that I can communicate with my divine source in such a really fun and fluid way. I'm able to I don't know, get my ego out of the way when I make art and just kind of let it flow. And I really trust it so that's what I'm going to demonstrate today. It's really fun for me. I really enjoy it. I'll do as many readings as I can. So if you want a reading, go ahead and put your hand up, and I'm just going to take them in order that they come, however the hands go. So I've got Natasha first. Are you here with us, Natasha?
Yep.
All right. I'm glad you're here. Do you have a specific question or intention for your reading?
I just wanted to have the simple intention of choose happiness.
Oh, I like that. Okay. And can you pick 3 numbers between 1 and 40?
3, 6, and 17.
And a favorite color?
I wanted to make sure there was going to be yellow in there, kind of like a brighter or deep yellow.
Okay. Like a sunny day kind of thing?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This one's actually called Sunny Day.
Oh.
It's brand new. I got to open it. Give me a second. All right. So happiness. Is that what you said? Say it again.
Yeah, choose happiness.
Choose happiness. I like that there's a choice. Very cool. All right. And you said 3, 6, 17. Let's start with this 3. I just heard the word. I was like, oh, it's Dan, and then I heard the word, it's meandering. It's meandering. I like it. Definitely feels like choosing happiness is connected to taking your time.
Yeah, I think so.
And these little blah blah blah. Oh, same with this one. What are you gonna do? Okay. All right, let me see if I can zoom in. Forgive me for the extra sound. It is. I rearranged everything, so I don't know where anything is. Those things becoming more efficient is great. It just takes time. Once you set those things in place. All
Yeah.
right. I feel like a kid with their hands in the mud. Ooh. So feeling, and it's really interesting too, especially because what's coming up is that word choice, like choosing happiness. And so I'm looking at this, and honestly, there's a part of me that could go like, oh my God, that's a mess. And then there's a part of me that's like, oh, that's so fun and interesting. And then there's this other part of me that's like, oh gosh, what does it mean? There's like all these different perspectives that I can choose from. And I'm really very aware. I mean, I'm always kind of aware of that, but in the framework of choosing happiness, I'm like super aware of it right now. I love it.
That's awesome.
Let's move it off of there. Look at that one spot of sun. There's like sun coming over the cliffs with all the different ones. Let's see when we get down into it. Yeah. And that feels like an owl. That feels like an owl. Is it close enough? Can you see the details?
I can see it, yeah.
Feels like I love the idea of flight with happiness too, and like wisdom. I think that's what
Yeah.
I'm picking up on when you said like choosing. I feel like that's such a strong. Did that any chance that came up in dream time?
Um, it's been something that I've been thinking a lot lately where, I'm kind of done with feeling kind of like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. Like, it's not that I don't want to feel like anger and all those emotions, but I would just rather choose like peace and um really kind of lean into that, like simpler ways. And
Yeah,
I don't know if that's making sense. I have a really hard
absolutely.
time explaining things.
No, I think you're just second guessing yourself. It came out very, very clear. But I think what's coming out with it is like this profound wisdom. I think that's what this owl is about, is that it's in the simplicity of it, where it's just like, no, I'm gonna choose. It doesn't matter why or like, like I love I don't know where I heard it, but I heard the phrase, oh, it wasn't unconditional. What was it? It'll come to me. I just got distracted mid-sentence, which is something that happens. All right. Um, unreasonably happy. You don't need a reason.
Yeah, I like
I love
that.
that. Yeah. So I'm coming in with this yellow now. I think this whole little image is very simple. I think that this is going to be it. Is just this owl coming, flying from the sun, possibly, like bringing in. It's done its work. It's done its work in the shadow in the nighttime. Like you've had the dark. Like you don't need to do the dark night anymore. Like it's time to go back to the roost and chill.
I would love that. And I like it because with choosing the numbers for the colors, I don't know if these are colors that I would have just picked out if I was looking at them.
Right.
So choosing the number is really interesting and fun.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. I like to eliminate as much control as possible. The less we can control, it feels like the more things are able to come through that are to give us it, I feel like there's more clarity. Like it's like, oh, okay, or we don't doubt ourselves because it's like, well, I didn't choose that, I just kind of that was the right color, even though I didn't choose it. And that little heart on the chest here. Um, I like the little zigzag up there too. I like, forgive me, I stick my paintbrush in my mouth. I feel like the owl's eyes are closed. Huh. Yeah, I don't need to look at it. I just know what I want. Like I don't need to, there's nothing. And there's some kind of weird thing when we just choose happiness that feels like there's some programming that says it's like irresponsible or something. Like we should worry or we should feel these other or we're told what we should and shouldn't feel um
Yeah.
and I feel like this owl is just kind of closing its eyes to that going, no, I know what I feel. I know my heart.
It looks like too that it's mostly like almost like it's in a clear sky. Like it doesn't look like there's any obstacles or anything in it.
Yeah, like it's pulling, it's coming over. It feels like it's coming over this horizon, and then there's like this whole. Yeah, it's well, you know what it is? It's rising up above it. It's rising above all the stuff. Like it's got this little ribbon of peace.
That feels like it like tied it all together. I love that.
Mhm. It feels like it's coming straight from non-physical, like it's pulling it right down. I gotta make it sparkly. There we go. Yeah. It's like it's interesting too, because it's like I'm in control, but also that surrender at the same time. That's a really cool.
I have a hard time because I do always feel like I need to be in control, but it's almost like I don't necessarily want all of that responsibility anymore.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that. So let's bring it closer to the camera. Look at how peaceful that little owl is. It's just, oh, there's so much confidence there, like in its happiness. And I do feel like there's a letter S is significant. I don't know if that's something for you, but or it is something for you. I don't know what it means. I just want to point it out. But like there's just this peace and that feeling of meandering. Like it's just, I don't know, it knows what it had, it's holding on to that cord of peace. And I think the connection to the non-physical realm feels right. And even because it does actually, to me, kind of looks a little bit stormy, but it's flying out of the storm, or it's like whether it's in the storm or not, it's kind of above it, I think. So let me pull a card around it. And it came out so clearly, like I really didn't put very much paint on it to make it look like that owl. It was very, very clear. So it feels like when you said your intention also, it felt very, this is what I want. I want to choose happiness. And it was just real clear. I want to acknowledge that. And that red too that came through, that's like passion. And look at that little red spot. It looks like a dinosaur down here.
I looked at that and I thought it was a dinosaur.
Oh, this gives me chills. Look at this one. This one's called Storms Subside. You will climb back up again. Until then, splash in the puddles, celebrate the rainbow to come, and savor the sweetness of life. So it's about choosing, right? Like choose, even though, the itsy bitsy spider fell down again, right? Like you will climb back up again. And this card's just about like, yeah, even when it's raining, you can choose to like splash in the puddles and celebrate what's to come and savor the sweetness. So yay. There you go.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. It was good to connect with you again.
Yeah. Have a good night.
You too. Okay, who's next? Deborah. Hi, Deborah.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. Are you staying warm?
I am. I actually I had to move my my house has 2 floors and it's just too cold on the first floor for me to do work down there and sit in one place and not move around. So I had to move my office upstairs.
Mm.
Now I am very warm. I'm actually a little too warm, but that's okay. I was freezing. How are you? Is it cold by you?
Yeah, it's pretty cold. It's like single digits.
Oh yeah. Do you have wind chill? Is that a thing?
Yep.
Yeah, we have
like
we have
minus 24 yesterday.
Lord, what?
Yeah,
Oh,
minus 24.
All
Just in
right.
Ohio, so I'm not even in the cold parts of the country, so.
Yeah, that's just weird, man. All right. So what's your intention today? What's in your mind?
I was thinking about setting the intention for discovery, like discovery of hidden talents.
Mm-hmm. Sounds great. Okay. And do you want to pick 3 numbers from 1 to 40?
12, 17, 23.
And favorite color? If you like
Black,
black.
always black.
Awesome. These are, oh, I love these with black too. Look at that. Mhm. I feel like they're very similar colors to what you
Yeah, and I keep changing the numbers, but
Uh-huh.
the colors stay dark.
I'm gonna do the smooth side this time. Discovery. Hmm. I feel like these are little ducks in a row. You got your ducks in a row. I don't know what.
That's what I saw.
Hmm. It's careful. Your energy is always a little careful, like, deliberate and careful. I really like that. It's like, it reminds me of like Paisley, the way that they're dropping.
Yeah, it does.
It's fun. This one's like, I want to meander too. All right. Now, you were telling me about intuitive art that you do. Are you also a medium? Because I'm getting like a sensation on my right side, like
Yes.
like something.
Yes.
Are you okay?
Yes.
Nothing like that's trying to come through. It's just that when I connect to energies of people who are mediums, that's the sensation I get. It's like it's
Yeah.
like it's
Mine's
like
been kind of
someone
active
looking over
lately.
my shoulder. Like, what you doing?
Yeah.
Do you enjoy it?
Sometimes,
When you're
sometimes not so
when
much.
you're intending it? So I'm wondering why it's coming up with discovery. So it feels like maybe there's something either
Well, it's been,
extra with that, or also leaning into that might lead to more discovery, is what it
it
feels like.
might. It's just been a lot more active lately.
Mm. I feel like everything's more active. Like there's a lot of stuff trying to get my attention too, or like, yeah. Look at this, just feels like so much like, yay. What's going on here? Yeah, it went in and then it like really wants to spread out.
Spread your wings.
Yeah.
Now that's interesting at the bottom with the little
Mhm.
turquoise dot.
It reminds me of that keyhole that you had. Where did I put my?
Oh, yeah.
That's neat. Gosh, the colors are intense, aren't they? Ooh.
Storm.
Yeah. I like to look at them all together. I don't know if you noticed this the last time. A lot of or the paintings had some similarities between them, like
Mhm.
color wise and different things too. Look at it, stayed there, didn't it? Didn't really lift much up. I'm gonna let Amy in. All right. Welcome, Amy. Hi. All right, so I'm in the middle of, if you want a reading, raise your hand and I'll get to you if I get down that way. Look at that. I feel like that's like a door, a portal or something. Ooh.
We had a door last time too.
He's leading us to his site where we'll let him investigate.
I'm gonna mute you, girl. There you go. Ooh, what is it? That's fascinating. So a port in the storm is what I just heard. What was that? That was number 12, this color. It's so much brighter. And this purple, I love this purple as like a lighthouse. Hmm. The purple, I was gonna say the purple for like spiritual connection, like crown. I like that. It's shifting. It's okay, so at first it's like, oh, it's totally a lighthouse. Here's the sea, there's a storm going on. And then it's like back to that candle thing again. So it's really interesting.
Either way, it's light.
Yeah. Little hearts. I don't know if you can see them if they're showing up, but there's like tiny little hearts in that. And it's interesting how it doesn't really want to penetrate that dark very much, but it will. There we go. You have a building in one of your other ones. I feel like there's structure.
I don't remember. No, I don't think so.
Maybe it was just the
Just
door.
the door.
Yeah. So I feel like there's structure, building the structure around the lighthouse. Like a silo, yeah, like a barn or something, right? Yeah, I agree with you, Natasha. Lightning strike. There's a repetitive. There's a very funny energy, like a repetitive, silly, like rhyming, like it's definitely like an adult energy, but like a childlike. Um, reminds me a little bit of, remember the movie Rain Man where he would repeat things?
Yes.
That kind of thing, like an obsessive kind of like, what do you call that? Um, whatever, perseverant, whatever. I feel like this energy was I think it's someone coming through and I feel like they were non-verbal in their physicality. And then, but now are like going like port in a storm, port in a storm. And it's kind of cracking me up, but also very distracting. And very excited. Like, yeah, I think it's some aspect of you. It's something you're connected to, or like, whatever, but it's just a very, very excited, like, "Oh, I see it, I see it. Like, yeah, that's what, yeah. Um, you talk about inner gifts, it's very much like that candle you were holding and like that, you know. It feels like a person. Hmm. Hmm. It's like a little doll or something. You see it? Like
Little voodoo doll.
Eh, oh, it's like Elsa, like bring on the snow or the storm, you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
what did you say? Snow doesn't bother me, or the cold doesn't bother me anyway. This one's like the storm doesn't bother me anyway. They're just radiating love. And I feel like with structure, that's where creating structure for it, build like propping a building up against it, kind of gave it kind of strength to be radiant. Like that's the key. I feel like I could paint on this and it would continue to churn into different things. Like just just feel like they could turn into birds and then oh the feeling of you know, you've been crying and you get that like jagged breath like that just came over me and it was kind of like oh like a grief of like I wish I'd known this sooner kind of thing, that feeling. But right there. Yeah, it's gonna just keep shifting and shifting. All right.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. So, and that's, I think, your energy is just like so dynamic. But at the core of it is this is love. Look at how it stands out from that background now. Holy cow. I just kind of looked at the whole thing all of a sudden. I'm like, oh, she like came forward. Okay. Just want to add a little bit to this right here. I'm gonna watch my time. Almost connecting with the water. Boop. It's like it's not quite one. It just isn't gonna quite touch it, but it's very close. Like it doesn't, you know, electricity, it'll jump, and that's what it wanted to show was like there's yeah, like or like you do Reiki or something, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so you don't actually have to touch a person, so work the energy. And I think that's what that is trying to show there. The other thing, let me just check it. All right, I'm gonna leave it as that. So, okay, let me give you this. There's a lot going on in that red, and one of the things that I'm seeing is like this figure up here. There's like a head and their torso, and they're kind of like lifting off. Do you see it?
I sure do.
Okay, yeah, so there it feels like this spirit kind of like this is the grounded part of I feel like you might ground through your crown versus like the like I don't know what that means, but that's what I wanted to say. Like you ground through your like as a spiritual being rather than like earthing.
Hmm.
Um, and so then it's like almost like that energy like once when you're grounded, your energy just takes off and like becomes part of everything, part of the storm. That's why it's like Elsa is what I'm saying, where she's like she's part of this, she is snow, you know, so that's why she can control. So that discovery of your ability to like become whatever, and that's what it felt like, is like it could become anything. It would have just kept going and going and going.
Hmm.
And so that discovery is an unending process, at the very least, is that discovery. Also, there's a big red heart right here too. I don't know if you can see that. It's almost got like a Macintosh apple shape too. So
Oh,
I feel
yep,
like
I see it.
the sweet things in life too. Do you see it? staying between the poles. I felt like that was kind of coming through too. I don't really know how many hearts you got. You saw the big red heart on yours too? Yeah, you've got a big red heart on yours too. And you know what's interesting? So the two of you, I always think of, the connections, but that kind of what's coming down. I think a lot of us are getting called to connect to whatever's coming through. So there's some, global or collective energy as part of your journey. That's just too many cards to shuffle. Let's take half. All right, let me pull a card for you. I love that she's got a triangle on her chest that makes me think of like whatever you envision, that's what you can become. Like it's all about that triangle. I don't know if you did the preferential shapes with us.
Mhm.
Do you
Yeah.
know where your triangle was in that?
4,
So it's okay, so that's what's motivating. And then where was circle?
2,
So that's your strength. So your strength is like wholeness and self-awareness. And then that, so what's in your 3 plus signs?
square.
Oh, that's the structure. Okay, so you're working, yeah, so you're in the process of creating structure for yourself, and that's where the self-discovery is gonna come. At least that's how I would read it if it were my opinion. That makes sense, because there's your little square in the background, and as soon as I put that square in there, it like transformed into a person. Oh, I love the moon. Call to your pack. Yeah, open your arms, open your heart. Open your heart and let your song pour out. You are not alone. When you let your authentic light shine brightly, it's a beacon for kindred connections. Yep. Let your light shine.
Yeah, it started out as a lighthouse.
I know. I love it. Yay. Yeah. There's a lot going on in there for sure.
Thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. Okay, Amber's next. Hi, Amber.
Hi, Linda.
How you doing?
I'm pretty good. Thank you.
Good. All right. Oh, I just
Mm.
lost. I got some really cool new earrings, and I just
Oh no.
fell out of my ear. Aren't they pretty? Got them from my friend
Ooh, gorgeous.
Christmas. Oh, I wanted to wear them and feel fancy.
Don't want to lose them, that's for sure.
Right? Some on my own floor is fine. Okay, let me get feet centered. So what's going on, Amber? What kind of intention do you have for this one?
I was trying to think and think because there's so many things, but I think it came down to I want to find myself again. I feel like I've been lost for a little while. Like, I was like in the best time of my life, like years ago, and then it just so much
Mm.
of the world got to me, and I feel lost, and so I'd like to just find me again. So something
Okay.
that brings me back to who I really am.
I get it. Okay. Well, let's see what comes up for it.
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry you're feeling like that. I get it. I've said the same thing when, there was time when life felt so magical and all the
Mhm.
synchronicities and like all these things were happening, and then yeah, you hit a lull and it's like, oh.
Yeah.
So what numbers, so if you want to pick 3 numbers between 1 and 40.
4, 17, 24.
And your favorite color? What are you feeling today?
My favorite color is blue.
Blue, like a medium, dark, or light?
Medium to dark.
Let's do blue kazoo. That looks fun.
That does look fun.
All right. There you go. That's your colors.
Okay.
And owning yourself. Have you ever, Have you ever seen the musical or heard the song from the musical Waitress? She used to be
I have
mine.
not.
Oh God. So I have this you need to listen to it like a couple times.
Okay.
The first time I heard it, which was recent, I mean it's kind of an older thing, but it oh gosh, it was very cathartic. It made me break down and cry because it's
Mhm.
like yeah, it's like this lament over the person that she used to be. And
Mhm.
and it's a beautiful kind of celebration of who she used to be, but also an acceptance. And it's one of those songs like you gotta listen to it several times until it doesn't hit you as hard anymore. And I think that's the healing process of it. Look at these cool kind of like glyphs that are coming through for you.
Yeah, I like it.
Mhm. Feels very dragony up here.
I
You're
love
the
dragons.
dragon. I was gonna say, are you a dragon? Were you born in 76 or?
I was born in 79.
Oh, okay. What is that? What is that in the Chinese? Do you know?
A ram, I think.
Oh, cool.
But I do love dragons, so I wouldn't be sad if there was one in there.
It's a year of the dragon this year.
It is this year. Yeah, you're right.
Mhm. Uh-oh. Hold on. Okay. I feel a lot of like um self-consciousness bubbling up, but it's all in response to like either it's like old programming of like criticism or getting in trouble or something like that. It feels like oh, I got to watch my step. And so that feels like part of where you lost the trail to your own heart was,
Mhm.
watching your step on behalf of others.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that's what I feel kind of like bubbling up here. I feel it in my throat and my sinuses, like there's so many things unsaid. Like,
Mhm.
oh, yeah. Which I mean, yeah. Anne says 1979 was the year
The
of the goat.
goat.
Oh, cool.
Okay, cool.
That's funny.
Ram, goat, they're close.
Yeah. That's awesome. Thanks, Anne. Yeah, living for other people. Who am I separate from others? That feels like, oh gosh, and it's in my ears. So this whole like throat, all
Yeah.
of that. Yeah. Mhm. And sheep too, yeah. All right, there is a little like I call them little blockages when there's a little thing. So look at that. Let's take that off. Let's see what's under it. And gosh, I feel like there's a bunch of like spirits or something like that, these little heads here or bubbles maybe, but yeah, maybe bubbles or orbs or whatever. Feels like outdoors, feels like nature. Do you like nature?
I love nature.
Do you?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I want to be outside all the time except for in this cold.
All right. When nature's being nice, yeah.
Yeah, when it's nice and warm.
So interesting. This feels a little bit like a crab hook right here. This like crawling out. There's even like a little thing. Let's see where that goes. Do you have any like Cancer in your like Cancerian sign stuff at all?
Mm, no, not that I know of.
Like a
Like
rise.
I'm not. Yeah, I don't know enough about that. I'm Pisces.
Yeah. Okay, so water. But yeah, I was just asking because I don't really know. I'm definitely not an astrologer. I don't know enough to speak on it. Um,
Yeah.
but I think of like crab as so like people who are born under that sign, a little bit that I know is like there's emotion, of course, with that. But I also think of what I'm picturing in my mind right now is could be lobster, 'cause it reminds me of like there's a tarot card, I think it's the moon, and it's got a lobster crawling out from the depths, and it's like hidden things being revealed, you know. I think that's partly that's something that we have to go through to like when we go through any kind of like reclamation. Think about if you were gonna like renovate a house or reclaim your house and like make it new the way it was. You're gonna have to like tear down some stuff and like dig in. And so
Yeah.
that feels like what this little creature is about. It's like coming up. And I feel like these claws, they're like defensive, you know, like they're gonna mess with a crab claw. So there's some assertiveness coming. I think I've never read the book. I'm not recommending it. It popped into my brain as a book called Assertiveness for Earth Angels or something like that. It's old, whatever, Adoring Virtue or something. I don't even know if the book is worth reading, but that title feels right to mention to you, to like that you are an earth angel, that you're gentle and graceful and kind, but also in order to be who you're meant to be here and do the work and enjoy the life that you came here to enjoy, assertiveness is part of it. So
That makes sense.
it's just a subtle little crabby crab in there.
Aw.
But yeah, those feel like bubbles over there, so we're gonna just outline those little bubbles. And of course, circle. That's the whole thing about like the hero's journey and the wholeness. Who am I separate from others? Who am I when I'm just, and that, you know, as a parent and like in relationships, God, we do kind of lose that.
We do.
But I think losing it is not necessarily the word that doesn't feel right, because I don't think we can really be separate from it. And it's kind of an illusion of separation, but having the experience of ourself as whole, having the experience of ourself the way, whatever it is, experiencing ourselves the way we want to experience ourselves, period.
Yeah.
And yeah, those bubbles light up. Woo. Well, that's fun. So I feel like that crab is like a shadow aspect. It's back in there, but there's something else. It's like protecting a little gem cluster, I think. Have you ever seen, or have you ever done one of those things where you can go dig for crystals?
Oh my gosh. So I'm obsessed with crystals. I collect them. Yeah, and like rock hounding is like one of my favorite things in the world.
Oh, that's
Yeah, I've gone searching. I haven't gone to like an official like digging place, but you know, like beaches and things like that, definitely.
that just looks so fun. I really, really want to do that. I actually
Yeah.
looking at, so there's like land in Arizona for sale, and it's like there's gold mines
That'd be
and stuff, and
awesome.
I'm like, oh, I want to go dig for stuff, you know?
Oh yeah, I could do it all day, every day.
Yeah, I feel like that's what this little crab is kind of protecting here, is this little gem cluster. And I think that's where, you know, that's how we know ourselves best. Is one of my favorite quotes is from Leo Buscaglia. He wrote a book just called Love, and he said, love and the self are one, and the discovery of one is the realization of both. we are love.
Cool.
So
Mhm.
when you engage in something that you love and you feel love, that's how you find yourself.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Love and the self are one, and the discovery of one is the realization of both. Isn't that? He was brilliant. And then I think too, like letting yourself dream and have ideas and get excited about things too. These little the triangles, these tips. When's the last time did you do a that preferential shapes test with us where you put the 5 shapes down and I don't know
Yes.
that did you? Where were your triangles on there? Do you remember?
Let's see. 3?
Okay, so that's the process is in like coming up with like what do you want? What kind of visions? What kind of dreams do you have? That kind of thing. There's another bubble over here, but it feels like it's mostly internal work. A lot of the stuff's over on this side because I think you've been in the external, like doing things for others for so long that yeah, the crab is moving from the left into the right. It's so it's simple. It's almost like no, you don't need to put too much on there, but I do want to add a little bit more of that green that you picked. Actually, I'm going to bump it up just a little bit to this color. It's like vines coming down. The green's coming, I promise. Oh yeah. Asking questions. Yeah, so letting yourself ask the questions. What do I want? What do I really want? That kind of thing.
Okay.
And the emerald or beryl. Let's get that and turn that into sapphire. I think emeralds and sapphires are like they're the same whatever, like but just one takes a little longer than the other.
Oh, okay. Like they're the same mineral, but then one of them turns
Yeah,
into the
I
other.
think so. I don't know. I think I read that somewhere. I don't know if that's the true, if that's
I
true.
should know that, but I don't know either. Have to look it up.
I think they're both, I think it's called like beryl or something.
Yeah, I think they are. That's what just came to my mind. I'm like, are they barrels? I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah, they must be.
Little blue sapphire. There, right?
Pretty.
Little cluster right in the middle just to discover. So all these little circles on this side, circles represent the self, they represent wholeness. They're like, I always think of them, they come up in someone's reading and I'm like, oh, it's a hero's journey. Like you're on a mission. You know, your mission right now is just to, if it's in the triangles, it's just to like decide what you want, to envision some goals. I
Okay.
feel like this little spiral here too is to like lean into your creative energies, have fun with it. I feel like I've talked to you about this before with the crystals and stuff. Have we talked about that?
I don't know. I don't
I don't
remember.
know. Like I'm like, oh, I feel like I told you to write a book or like or so or read a book or take a I don't know. Yeah, but if I
don't know.
haven't, then that's what I want to say is like, yeah, lean into it. Lean into that. If you
Okay.
know already, you know something you like, then that's one facet of yourself that the more that, well, I'm sure you've experienced this. When we give our attention to something, then like it just grows. And so the
Yeah.
more you lean into the things you like, the more other things that you like will come into your awareness more and more. And just like a crystal, it just takes time, it'll grow. There's some like little crystals over here. I feel like there's an aspect of becoming social. There's 3 bubbles here, there's also 3 here. It's all internalized right now. But there's like this
Okay.
little bubble on the horizon. And I think as you become more assertive, to protect the things you love and say, like, no, this is what I want.
Mhm.
I think that you'll find yourself connecting with others more and more, just as you kind of let that red like come through. All right, let me pull a card for you. Does that feel
Thank
pretty
you.
clear? You're welcome. All right, let me see what I can get out of the deck here. I love that little crystal cluster. I kind of like
I do too.
want to collect it now.
Uh-huh.
And feed your fear. Oh, that's an interesting thing. So this one says, feed your fear. And it says, release your hungry heart from its cage before it devours your joy. So if you're holding in what you really want, your heart wants to be fed. It wants to do the things. It wants to go.
Hmm.
So let it, release it, feed it. Nourish with love and permission to be. Give it space to heal and wisdom to fly free. Yeah.
Awesome.
I love little mushrooms. I love little mushroom cottage things.
Me too. Me too. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. Thank you.
You're
Perfect.
welcome.
Thank you.
All right, let's see. This is such a fun night. I'm so happy you're all here. Let me just check the chat. I see little things in there. And then Lynn, you're next. Big red hearts. Yeah. Could those be water bubbles and the lobsters underwater? I think, yeah. I think, Michelle, you're right. Yeah, very possible. All right. Lynn, hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good. Oh,
Got you. Okay. So what's going on? What kind of things are on your mind today?
um, well, there's just been a lot, just inner kind of turmoil, I suppose, and just over the course of, the last, I don't know, several years, I guess. It's just really kind of just done a number on my confidence and like my the view of myself. It's just kind of like I don't know, just kind of shattered some things and just kind of like knocked my feet out from under me.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. So what kind of intention do you think? What would you like to receive from the reading?
I guess just something that would speak to my confidence, I suppose.
Okay, cool. So 3 numbers between 1 and 40.
3, 7, and 16.
7 and 16. That was very clear. Did you? Bam. And then what, I almost said what flavor. What's your favorite color?
Um,
Come on
green,
around.
green, like a darker green, like a kind of like the green you used in the
Okay.
last one,
This
like
one?
mhm.
All right. You got a green in this one too. That 7 is a green. Look at that.
Okay.
All right. So there we go. All right, we'll start with, what'd you say? 3, 7, 16. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh dear. These are not colors I would normally put together. It's kind of scary.
How does that feel for you to?
Yeah, it's a little frightening. Lavender and green, I would never pair up.
So interesting. It's coming out in some like, I don't know, that one little thing kind of reminded me of like a Reiki symbol or something. I don't know.
Hmm.
Feels very deliberate and like careful. Looks like a big question mark. Can you see how that, okay. Yeah, so spiral, so that creative energy, definitely got that creativity. Wow.
Spiral was my number one.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how you know yourself well, is as a number one, you are number one, but also spiral. Yes. So is it confidence with creativity? Do you trust your creative expressions in general?
I'm pretty private about my creativity, although I did kind of more recently step out a little bit with some classes that I'm taking, and it's a little unnerving, but um I do
If
feel kind of
nobody ever
unconfident.
saw your work, do you feel good about what you make if you know for sure
Mhm.
nobody's gonna see it?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just other people's.
Well, I mean, so I'm currently taking a college course for pottery, and it's with,
Ooh.
you know, 20-year-olds that can throw pottery like with their eyes shut. Yeah,
Yeah.
I cannot.
Uh-huh.
So it's a
I went
little,
to college when I was in my 30s as a full-time like traditional student. Oh my God. Yeah, just nuts.
yeah, and I'm only doing one class a semester, so it's not like I'm even there for a degree at this point. It's just more because I have like that as a benefit that I can go for a
That's
course.
awesome.
And so that's what I've chosen, just kind of as like recreational art and to learn the whole craft of it. But yeah, it's definitely unnerving.
Do you enjoy it though?
Oh, I love it. Yeah,
Yeah, coming through. Whew.
pretty.
Ugh. So Deborah says it resembles something that I cannot pronounce. Um, yeah, so some sort of symbol that comes from Reiki. Yeah, I'm thinking. Through though, I feel like we're looking at the sky over a lake and like through the trees kind of thing, and the clouds are making this like crazy symbol in the sky. It's just like giving you a sign, you know?
hmm
That's what it feels like to me, is like, hey, um, and then I just heard, but you can't see the forest for the trees. I never understood that saying for the longest time. I didn't know what the hell that meant. Now I
What
understand.
is it? You can't see the forest
You
through the
can't
trees?
tell the forest for the trees. So you don't know you're looking at a forest because it's just like a matter of perception. So like
Okay.
when people say you can't see the forest for the trees, it's because someone will say like, that's not a forest, those are trees.
Mm.
It's the same thing, right? It's just a matter of like, yeah, it's a weird saying, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know at what point a group of trees becomes a forest. Like, is it a quantity? Is it square footage? I have no idea.
Right. And I feel like there's some of that going on in relation to, it's like semantics, right? Like, you know, how good does your art have to be to feel confident about it? Like, do you have a definite, like, is there even a clear definition for that? Like, what would allow you to feel confident? Like in general, not just your art, but like,
Yeah, I guess unity, because I guess it's the division that I'm experiencing right now. Um that's really making me like question everything. So I think unity would only bolster the sense of confidence and self-worth, I suppose.
what's unity feel like?
Um
Like unity in yourself or with others or
yeah, I guess it unfortunately I hate even saying this, but it stems around my kids.
Mm,
Just there's a lot of division right now, and um it just hits you right at the core.
sorry,
And
yeah,
it's just like affected like every other aspect.
yeah. That's just it too. And I think that's like I was saying earlier, like when you focus on one thing, it spreads to other things too.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like if you can't do one thing, you feel like you can't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you perceive you couldn't do something, because I don't,
So do you
yeah.
think that the opposite is true then? If you feel confident in one area, you might feel confident in others?
hmm Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to shift
Yeah.
to that.
Nice. But where do you feel pretty confident? You think
I
you-
don't know. I mean, I'm really good at my job.
Nice.
I've
What do you
taken
do?
on I've
Do you
taken
do
on a lot
graphic-
of
You do graphic design or something?
no, I work at a college
Oh, cool.
where I take my classes.
Oh, that's where you get that's a good benefit.
Yes, I get a free class a semester. Um, yeah, so I've taken a lot of extra responsibility. I've been promoted a few times, so I'm a hard worker. I'm very consistent and determined and all of those things. So I always feel very good about my work. But then it's like the relational things are just always, and not even at work, but just maybe more so outside of work. Like that's more where that it's more difficult. Like work is easy for me, because it's like
Mm.
you do A, B, and C, you get D. It's not like that
Right, there's a
outside of
clear
work.
outcome, right? Like it's very clear what you need to do to be successful at it.
Yeah. Whereas like with, family or relationships, like you can do A, B, and C, not necessarily going to get D. You're going to get,
Mhm. Yeah.
and I think that that's kind of frustrating and just discouraging.
would be like this little bird up here. It's interesting because it's like a bird, but it's not. I feel like there's this aspect that's like, oh, you have to define what that is. It has to, there has to be a clear goalpost or something like that. It has to be, yeah, this thing is, and now there's another one. So there's anxiety around not knowing what it's supposed to be or what you're supposed to be, what people expect from you, and that's what it feels like. It's like, well, yeah. So with a workplace, it's like you have a role and you have a title and you have an outcome and you have all these things. And with a class, you have a syllabus. I was the most successful when I was a college student, when I had like a professor who had really clear, like, here's how you get an A, here's what a B would look like here. And that is, but yeah, relationships with, just people in general. You don't know what you're going to get.
Right.
There's something about that one there. Yeah, they're almost like little bird angel things too. There's this, I feel like the challenge is like this trusting the process thing. Like, can you let yourself just let there be like these undefined things? And I think that's what this like symbol too is like that. Like, can you let the
Right.
whole
Because what I
sky-
can't even imagine what that is.
Mhm. Yeah, and just like Scott, I was just gonna say, be comfortable being uncomfortable. Yeah.
Are you choking?
No, and yeah, like I couldn't even, it didn't even want to say it. It was like, oh, I don't want to be uncomfortable. So there's this like, yeah, that being comfortable, being uncomfortable, like just being like, yeah. Like if
Yeah,
you
no, when
go
I'm
out of the house in like
uncomfortable.
pajamas and not and like looking, Walmart ready, or are you, you know what I mean? Like, do you just like wing it? Have you ever done that? Like, I'm like, you got to run out of the house for something, so you run out in like slippers and sweatpants.
Oh, I mean, if I'm not going to get out of my vehicle.
So okay, so what I'm feeling is like fully going into like school.
I'm so sorry.
Go
One
get your
second.
dog.
Okay, thanks, Sarah. Okay, sorry about that.
That's okay. So yeah, the equivalent to that but you practice that kind of thing, like actually going somewhere, like going to your workplace or going somewhere like unshowered, in sweatpants, probably on a shitty day, your hair's a mess, like that kind of thing. Like the dreams where you're going to school in your underwear or something, like being vulnerable in that.
Yeah, no, I don't have those dreams either.
Or well, you've heard of them, right? Like you've heard people talk about that kind of like, oh, I showed up for a test in my underwear, you know, that kind of thing. I don't know that I
Yeah.
ever had that dream either, but as an example. So that
Yes.
kind of vulnerability where you are somewhere in what you might consider your worst case scenario of being exposed and vulnerable. Practice that with your art so that, like, you know, go to the class and like be, you know, put yourself in scenarios where that you can survive that, and then you kind of build up a tolerance, and that's how you get more confident.
Oh, that sounds awful.
Yeah. Well, that's what, so is weightlifting. I mean, and jogging, like that all sucks, but it makes us stronger. Yeah, like you know what I did before I started doing stuff like this, and like I've done a lot of public speaking, which is horrifying, absolutely horrifying. I failed driver's ed in high school because I refused to get up in front of my class because I was terrified. And then like in my later 20s, I was speaking in front of hundreds of people, and like I didn't want to take a waitress job because I didn't want to have to deal with people, you know, like, so, but we can develop those skills.
Yeah, and
you-
actually in high school I did take public speaking just simply because I hated speaking in front of people.
yeah, you get it.
So I have done those types of things, but they've always been very calculated.
Yeah. And I think, and so you take the calculated risks, right? And then that prepares you for the unknown. Because you're like, oh, well, worst case scenario, I've been through this crazy thing. I know what this feels like. I know I can survive it. And that's where confidence comes from. It's like, I know I can do this. You see what I'm saying? That's so funny because somebody said something to me and they're like, oh, they said, oh, I think you should do this, da da da. And I said the exact same thing. I said, that sounds awful. Sounds awful. I don't want to do that. I had the exact same response. That's funny. So I get it. Yeah, so your creativity is your key, I think, to feeling, if that's something you want, is to feel more confident and, you know, feel sure and be kind of unfazed by things. That's where you can practice it in a very safe way, like not having to go to work in your, you know, pajamas or something like that. But you can, you know, make some art and share it and not, you know, and risk exposure in those kinds of ways, and kind of develop a tolerance to it. And so that's what I'm seeing in this one, is like there's some like crazy shit on the horizon that is unknown. You don't know, you don't know what to do with it, don't know what to make sense of it, and that's just life. Like there's always some weird thing on the horizon, and it usually has to do with other people. You know, it's usually other people, like they're an unknown and they're unpredictable. They're unpredictable. You can't, they're a variant you just can't control for. And so that's what that is just, you know, this kind of thing that's, you know, but it's also provides you with an ability to like self-reflect. So that's what that reflection's about, is like everything you experience outside of it, you know, externally, is a reflection of your internal reality. So that's what this is showing too. It's like as you you know, do the work internally, you'll see it externally. Every person, everything that you experience is a part of you. And so if you are critical and judging of others, then that's just going to add to the feeling that you have of being criticized and judged. So
Mm.
being aware of your shadow, that's what shadow work is being aware of those kinds of things, of how am I thinking those ways that I'm afraid people are going to think of me. So that's part of it too. And then practicing and leaning into trusting the process with your creativity. But all this is like very green and heart-centered too. So I feel like you've got a very compassionate heart and you're very sensitive to feeling and other people's feelings. And so you can like sense what people feel, whether or not they say anything, and which is, it's like you've got supersonic, as if you have supersonic hearing, so God, being around 20-year-olds that's a terrifying thing. I'm not gonna lie, like being around young people can be very intimidating,
They've been super sweet. It's just
Oh
their
yeah,
art
no,
is
it's
like
still, yeah.
they're
And
so
they've been
incredibly
doing it for so
talented.
long, and yeah, and of course, but they mean you no harm. And
Right. No,
you
they're
know
good. They
that.
come in peace.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so it's all internal work. It's all like, but they will provide you. And I'm telling you what, like external people, it does look like a skull and crossbones. It has some fear associated with it. Natasha said it looks like skull and crossbones. It's got like a skull.
Yeah.
And
Right. I
so there's
see that.
definitely fear attached to it. Yeah.
Hmm.
But so it's, yeah, there's a lot of work that can be done, but I feel like, I don't know, I kind of feel like there's like a phoenix rising in you. Like you have the potential to just be like, fuck it. And
Yeah.
just, you know.
I've seen her around. Just
Oh,
gotta let
good.
her out.
Good. All right, so here's your card. Oh yeah, wildflower. There, you got to let out the wild part of yourself. Trust. Trust in your natural abilities. Access your innate capacity for healing for yourself and others by simply being you. See, that's the thing too, is we forget we serve no one when we kind of like hide away, or like when we feel intimidated and don't shine as brightly. Let yourself shine. Like you have so much to offer them. Like, so it just in that one scenario of going to that class and feeling a little bit intimidated, you've got a lifetime to offer them of experience and energy, and the idea of like dealing with, or like embracing the synchronistic experience, is that you'll be in the right place, right time to provide some gifts for others.
Mm.
Like when you kind of let go of the fear of stuff and you go with your flow and you're able to flow in your confidence, then that's when you're at the right place, right time to be something for someone or receive something from someone.
Mhm.
Have you ever, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
I love that green came up for you.
Yeah, it's like those the same colors
Yeah,
and colors
which
again
is
that I would have never put
that you would never
together.
pick. Yeah, isn't that interesting?
Mhm.
Because look at like the center of the flower is even the kind of that purpley.
Yeah, that's
Fun.
wild.
Something that happened.
It's wildflower.
It's wild.
Wildflower.
Yes, embrace your wildflower.
Very cool. Love it.
Yeah. Great to connect with you, Lynn.
You too. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so next is Anne. Thanks for hanging in there. And then Michelle, I've got
No
two
worries.
paper left for you. I'm giving you the square one, Anne.
All right.
Almost square.
All right. I like it. Thank you.
Mhm. All
Oh, I
right.
love, I'm not doing, I love this. I love listening to all everyone's, and seeing it all. And I feel like it relates. I always
forgot
feel
to
like it
mention
relates
that
to
in
me
the
too.
beginning, like, yeah,
It
like
really
even if you're
does.
not getting a reading, it's gonna, yeah, you'll get
Yeah, a
something. I
lot
know
of the
I
stuff
do.
that's come up has been like, I'm like, oh yeah, it really
Yeah.
feels very pertinent and super groovy. So
Mhm.
all good.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're here. What's new?
Me too. I don't know. My intention
Mhm.
for today has been, I had a workshop earlier and I'm going to use the same intention that I used earlier,
What is it?
which was, the question was, if you could, if the answer was absolutely yes, what would you ask? Like what, and that's a good one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I ask that I could be connected, had connection with my authentic and open creative spirit.
Oh,
So, yeah, an authentic, open connection with my creative spirit, which I have to a certain
Mm.
degree, but certainly not. I know there's more. I know there's so much more. And I know that I hold myself back, or parts of me hold myself back
interesting.
so much. And I really, really, that's my
I love
greatest
it.
wish. My greatest wish
I love
is
it.
to
I've
have a
been watching
connection
a
that
lot of people
feels,
do channeling and stuff recently.
yeah.
Oh, I want that. Like when you watch someone in their element, which is funny because like I'm in my element right now.
You do that too,
But-
you know.
But
You're
when I'm
like,
watching other people and I'm like, I want that, which is funny because I have it. Okay.
because you already do have that. It's just
But I
everyone
want it
has their own personal,
24/7.
but we have
always.
personal flavor, right? We have our own personal flavor of
Mhm.
that. So, you know, it's all good.
So what 3 numbers between 1 and 40?
I'm gonna say 22,
Okay.
18, and 8.
And then favorite color today?
Today I'm gonna say I wrote down violet, like not dark, more of a vibrant violet, if you have something on that
All right.
vein, in that vein. You know what I'm saying?
Left to right.
So yeah, I'm gonna say probably the crush.
Mm-hmm.
The other one looks a little bit light. And I did write
Mhm.
down actually light violet, but then I changed my mind because I was like, no, I want it. I'm vetoing my own.
Yeah,
I want it to
override.
be a bit more.
at
Yeah, I'm
those.
overriding it. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
Right. Yeah, it felt like yours needed to be symmetrical. I don't know why.
Remember, we've been talking about that with me, how I'm not a square person. I would never
Oh,
pick
that's
square.
right.
I would never
Yes.
pick square for in my preferential shapes. That would always be my last pick. But lately
Yeah.
I've been feeling it, and I've been like pushing myself to embrace more of the square and the
Get some plus
cross.
too.
Mhm. Yeah, all that solid structural, like set a schedule and do stuff that you know you say
Mhm.
you're going to do.
Structure.
Yeah, yeah. The name of the workshop that I'm doing is called Make the Work. And today I was like, what was I thinking? Why would I have ever signed up for something like that? No,
It's
but
like I was telling Lynn, like that sounds awful.
yeah, it sounds exactly. I'm in. That sounds awful. I'm in. Because I know it's what I need.
I'll be there.
Sign me up. Ugh, you know,
That's hilarious.
I was like, nope, I didn't do any of the pre-work, so I don't think I'm gonna do that. And I'm like, no, you are gonna do that.
What's it called? Make the work?
Make the work.
Make
Yep.
the work.
Make the work. It's Catherine Just is the facilitator. If anyone's heard of her, I don't know, but she's pretty popular. She's really cool. I like her a lot.
Awesome.
Mhm.
All right. This one's pulling in. Look at that.
Mhm. I love that. So,
What?
oh, I love it. It's like a flower. Oh, there it goes. Never mind.
Yeah, it just needed to,
Yeah,
to be a thing.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. So I used to read this guy. It's funny because he does some of the same work. It's like work. Like he's like a jobby kind of person.
Yeah, I hear
How to
you.
say it other than that. But he does like productivity. That's what I want to say. There's like a productivity
Okay.
guru guy.
Yeah.
And I read one of his like blog posts. This is years and years ago, but I loved it. And he said, "Don't get cooked in the squat." Have you ever heard that saying? It's like about
Mm-mm.
biscuits or something. He's like a Southern dude. And
Oh
he said,
gosh.
so like when you're making biscuits, or it's like you think about an airplane kind of like goes back a little bit and then
Yeah.
takes off. And like
Yeah.
so he was talking about biscuits and how biscuits will kind of like condense, kind of like your paint just did. It's just kind of like condense
Right.
and then flow out.
Then
And
they got to floof up. Give them
so
time to
don't
floof
let
back
that
up.
freak you out and like stay there. So don't get cooked in the squat, because some of those biscuits,
Okay.
like, they'll do that and they'll stay, people will like open the oven at that point or something like that, and then it doesn't go through the whole process. So trusting that process means trusting that when it feels like you're going backwards too. Yeah,
Yeah, I hear you.
so that's a
I
whole
hear
lot of
ya.
stuff that just came out.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
can feel the like southern twang one, and I'm like controlling
Ye-
for it. 'cause,
Don't
like,
even
I
get
can
me
hear his voice in my
started.
head,
I'm
like,
trying not to go there. That's one of my very strong parts. Comes out very southern, and there we go. And I'm from Vermont, so people are like,
Yeah.
"Oh, where are you from, girl? You say it just like me." I'm like, Vermont. You know, it's like,
Vermont. I don't know where it
Vermont.
comes from. Yeah, it's my
no,
southern belle.
it's
So I'm
it's a part.
I'm seeing two faces right off the bat. There's one looking up and there's one looking over. I don't know that they want to be drawn or not, but I want to point them out. So
I
here's
see it. Yep.
the top of the head. Here's an
I
eyeball.
do see it. I do
nose,
see it.
mouth. This
Yep.
one's
That looks
happy.
like
Kind
little
of
bit like
reminds me
me.
of the what's that like
He doesn't
theater?
that look like me?
Does it look like it kind of does? Yeah, look at that. Oh shit.
Here, I'll pose for you. I'm just kidding.
It'll take me a little while.
No, that's okay.
But yeah, so there's like two
I see
faces
it.
down there.
Yeah, yeah.
This feels floral. I don't know, but it just does. It feels very floral.
Mm, I love it. I love the colors, how they blended together. It's really pretty.
It also kind of reminds me of that crystal structure, that
Hmm.
crystal cluster over here.
Yes, yeah.
Remind me of your intention, connecting authentic. Can you say the words again?
Yep, authentic and open connection with my creative spirit. So all about creativity, like the spirit, the muse that wants to come through me in my
Mhm.
flavors. I want to be open to that. I don't want to block that anymore.
Okay.
So I wanted to see what that would show
I
up.
like that you said muse too, because that,
Hmm.
yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Because that's what those like masks, the whatever you call it, theater mask, whatever. They have a name.
Yep, I hear what you're saying. I know, I don't know what they're called either, but I know what you're saying.
All right, so
Happy and sad.
right into this. I can't really get closer, can I? Maybe. Where is that? It's like a circle. We're just gonna make it a circle.
Mhm.
Metatron. I don't know why. So
Yeah.
you know
Thank you
me.
for saying, yeah, no, say all the things, because I get
in
you.
my hand up my mouth, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't-
Metatron. I was working with something to do with that a while back, and I don't even remember what it was. Is that an angel?
Oh, yet.
I don't know. I got to start Googling now.
I think it's like a flower of life, like sacred geometry kind of.
Yeah, sacred geometry. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. My I can't even describe the
Metatron's cube.
sensation. I'm having this really interesting sensation, like when you go into them, like the pressurization when you drive into the mountains.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
And there is also, I've just looked it up, there is an archangel called Metatron.
That's
So it's
what
in the
I-
Bible kind of a thing. Yeah.
Cool.
Powerful supernatural. Hmm.
Well, and I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
when I think of sacred geometry and the flower of life, it's all encompassing. Like
It
every
is. It's like
everything's
music.
in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So-
like it's a visual musical kind of connection to me, like a
Yeah.
frequency, like muse. But
Yeah, so when you want to connect to something, this one's like, it's interesting because it's all a bunch of Vesica Pisces, so it's very, very feminine, but Metatron is very masculine in my mind.
I think it's best. Yeah, I'm getting both. Like both are important. Both are necessary.
Oh, you're
Ooh,
creative.
that's gorgeous.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm getting that pressurization like feeling in my ears. It's really, ooh.
Make me feel like shaky, like I gotta shake it
Yeah,
out,
yeah,
shake
yeah.
it
Like
out,
I had
shake it
way too
out.
much coffee.
Something, yeah, like feels like there's a pressure, like you said, pressure in my body that
Look
wants to
like
get like,
snowflakes kind of.
oh my God, I love
Oh.
snowflakes and I'm in South Carolina. So I'm not gonna see no snowflakes
Oh
anytime
yeah,
soon.
well,
I might though, this
throw
year we're
some of
getting
that white
cold.
sand on up in the air and
Okay.
pretend. I don't know.
I know, right? Right? Like wah, 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 no
I think
snow.
it's
Oh,
really
feel so sorry for
speaking to
you.
like uniqueness, you know.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I love that. I really do. That's perfect.
Okay. There's so much, like it's like there's just so much going on. in
Yeah, I
there.
see a
But
lot
also,
too.
like,
I do. I see like some kind of a bird of prey sort
I
of
just
thing,
see a
but then it
ton of
changes.
faces. Like they're
Yeah.
just and oh, sand dollars. Yeah, Amy says sand dollars. That makes
Mm-hmm.
sense too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I like that.
I love
Okay,
it.
pink is calling to me. What was that? What color was that? Oh, that was that color that you picked. That
Violet, that
purpley one.
richer, yeah, vibrant violet,
Let's
if
see.
if you will. Add a little red, it would be magenta, if you know what I'm saying. Wink, wink, nod, nod.
Yeah, you're magenta. You're getting the magenta. It is kind of
Or at least
magenta.
I brought magenta up. I had to at least say the
Yeah.
word magenta, or the bubble. Bubble would be a brewing.
I think that flowers,
Oof, I love that.
uh, with that it showed in the beginning, like you're like, oh, it's like a little flower.
Yeah, yeah.
There's definitely an aspect of that. I feel like it's,
The blooming.
so words are coming through, but I blocked them because I overthought it because it's an unusual thing. Let me see if they'll come back.
How'd that happen?
I don't usually get like direct speak to people, so it freaked me out a little bit. Give me a second. That was weird.
Oh, I love it. I love that.
You know me when you're growing. That was what came through. You know me when you're growing.
Mm-hmm.
You feel it when you're growing, like, and then I'm getting kind of these images of like Jack and the Beanstalk, like the excitement, not the beanstalk, not the riches, none of that, but the excitement of having magical beans.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's
Ooh, that's so beautiful.
it's just swirling through, and these are all just these seeds like floating through the air, potential.
Mm-hmm.
You know me in the potential, you know me when you're in growth, like that's where the connection is. That's what's coming through, is like you could hop on to any one of those little. I'm making an executive decision. I don't know what
Go
that
for it, girlfriend.
means, if that's really the terminology, but we're gonna.
Okay, all right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit of bright light.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, things just light up for you. Like that's how you're connected. You're always
Yeah.
connected. Like,
Yeah.
but to feel it constantly, that's just anytime you want to
Yeah.
feel it, or you want to
Yeah.
like
Yeah. I fight it. Let's face it.
It's-
I fight it. I don't, I have a fear of it
Why?
somewhere. I don't know. Well, I do know, but I know it's not, I know it doesn't have to be that way. That's why I'm working at it, because
Well,
I
and
do
I think
know it
too,
doesn't have
like
to be that way.
It's just a choice. It's like it's not bad
It's a
that it's
choice.
that way either.
Yeah.
You know?
No. And timing is everything. Timing is what it is. It's, if it takes me that long, it takes me that long. I mean, it's not like I'm going anywhere that I know of in the
Mhm.
next minute or two. You never know, but
things like that's what was trying to come through was like you know you're connected when things are bright, like you want
Mhm.
confirmation, then things just light up.
Yeah.
And I feel like this background now is kind of like, you ever see like in galaxies, like the cloud of electrons or something? That's what
Yes.
it feels like this
Yes,
cloud,
that's what
and
it looks
all
like,
these
all
little
that.
potential, and yeah, you see
Yeah, I
all
love
the
it.
faces too, Natasha. Yeah, they're in there. They're
It's
still in there. So
beautiful.
it's like
It's,
crazy potential. Let me pull a card for you too.
thank you.
And it's funny too, because anytime it's like we want to invoke the divine, or like I want to connect deeply, it's always almost a non-answer, because and I think that's
Like,
why we get too much in our head, because what is that? The one that cannot be or that can be named is
yeah.
not one, or whatever, like that's, I think what happens is like, no, because any definition then is just like a
Yeah.
human thing. It's not even
Yeah.
a divine thing.
Yeah.
So
Well, you're in your head too
something
much
like
if you're
that.
doing so
But
much
ding.
searching. The searching, is not really.
Mhm.
Look at the color.
I know. Look at the
Look at the
shade.
color that you said, I'm gonna throw that in there. Okay, well now we know why.
Embracing
matches the card.
change. Look at that.
Mhm.
We wear different faces throughout the cycle of our life, yet retain our core identity. Times of change can help us answer the question, who am I? And I think
Wow.
too, so tell me your intention again, one more time.
Authentic and open connection with my creative spirit.
Creative spirit. So yeah, your
A
creative
connection,
spirit is
authentic,
always
real, like my connection, my what
Mhm.
in this lifetime, in this incarnation, what is it? What does that look like?
Yeah. Well, and I think
So,
it's saying you have different
Yeah.
faces throughout we
yeah,
change.
so maybe that's
So, and especially
like you said, it's
what is
non-question.
creativity but change and evolution? And that's what I feel like was coming through, is in those potentials, in that time. It's the growth. It's the action of
Evolving,
growth.
the evolution, the
That's
evolution.
why
I feel like
it feels like
that,
a
yeah.
never-ending journey, because
'Cause
that
it
is your creative spirit. Your creative spirit is like a never-ending journey.
Exactly. Yeah, I love that. Thank you. That was very helpful.
My pleasure. Yeah.
Hey, a quick question while I have you
Yep.
though. I haven't received the one that you did for me like a couple weeks ago, 2 or 3
The
weeks
one on
ago.
eBay?
Yeah, on eBay. Does it take a little bit?
Yeah, it
Get
should come
that
as
delivered?
a card.
Yeah, I haven't
think-
received
Was
it.
it just one?
Mhm.
It should be. It should be there soon, but we didn't have mail
Okay.
on Monday, so maybe
Yeah, I mean, I don't think
Yeah.
it's been way too long, but I do have 2
Deborah
different
hasn't received.
addresses.
Deborah, I put
So,
yours. I had a couple of yours in one, and so I put like extra stamps. So
okay. All right.
okay, I'll check on it. So
But,
those don't have
yeah.
any tracking because they're just in a card.
Okay, no, that's perfectly fine. I'm just wondering if you send it to Rhode Island or if you send it to South Carolina. Because I'm pretty sure I use my South Carolina address, but you probably have my Rhode Island address because you've sent me a lot of stuff to Rhode Island.
Yeah.
I'm just
Well,
saying,
send me
they'll
a
forward it, they'll
message.
forward it, but that might be why it's taken a little bit
Okay.
longer.
Send me a
So,
message and I'll check it.
all right.
Yeah,
Thank you.
just because I'll forget by the time.
Okay, no, yeah, no,
But
I don't
any
expect
Deborah,
you to
if you
remember.
want, I can look.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so
All right.
much.
Let me recenter, because now I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go check that mail. Okay. So who's next? Michelle. Hello, Michelle.
Hey, Linda.
How's it going?
It's going good. This has like been absolutely, I don't even have the words for it. I don't. I'm like, all right. But I actually found it interesting because, I what I expected and what's happening are two different things, right? Because like when I was like watching your TikToks and things, like I'm like, oh, okay, she's just gonna get on there. We're gonna, she's just gonna paint and she's gonna read, right? Like you're just gonna do a reading off reading to the person. So when the first thing, like when you're like, okay, you got to have your intention, I'm like, oh no,
Uh-oh.
right? You gotta have your intention first. And now we gotta pick numbers. I'm like, oh dear.
This is involved. Yeah.
So now I'm in, right? Like I'm okay. I'm starting to write things down.
Thanks.
Each person's going, I'm like, Okay, I have those numbers. Oh, I gotta figure out, like, I'm thinking like I have to change them. Amber first, right? Then Lynn. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, and I'm feeling them. Like they're
Mhm.
what they're experiencing. It's just like, I mean, especially when you have experienced that same type of emotion and you've grown
Yeah.
through it, it's like, oh my gosh, I get it. Like I totally get this.
I
And
love this so much because yeah, we all feel connected in this group. I
yeah,
love doing it in this format. It's yeah.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And so I'm sitting there and like as I'm like, and I've got my like my chicken scratch, right? So
Nice.
I'm trying to come up with an intention all at the same time. And it's all over the place. And to the point where I've like realized I'm like, I want to see what focus looks like.
Focus.
Yeah.
I
Because
like that. Yeah.
I want to see what focus looks like.
Very
And that
cool.
would be my intention because I really just kind of like with your creativity and the way that you just kind of come through that, I was like, I can't imagine I'm not going to see focus.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right?
it'll come
The
through.
clarity. It's like I have like different things like create, clarity, anchoring my mind, like communication.
Mhm.
Okay, I want a focus.
Focus. Awesome. So what numbers did you settle on?
I settled on my 3, 7, and then I decided, um, because I saw some of the other 37.
Okay.
So
3, 7, and 37.
yeah, I didn't do the 8 and 4, the ones from before. And then my favorite color is green.
Nice. Do you like a dark green or like a
I
lime green?
like all shades of green. That's the whole reason I love green because there is so many.
I'm gonna give you a lime green. Is that cool?
Well, that's fine, but you know what? If I say like my favorite, like the green against the gray sky when there's a storm, it's almost that's probably when I said I don't have a favorite green, that probably would be
Are you talking about like the
the
tree?
lime green's fantastic. I was just that's that'll
Here,
work.
I'll tell you what. Which of these two do you like better? Left or right?
I would go left.
Okay.
I mean, I do like lime green, but I just
No, that's good because you picked this green already. So
oh,
all right, so 3, 37, and 7. That's what these are. Yeah, this is gonna be great. Okay. And we're talking about focus.
yeah.
Are you in a warm weather climate? Are you
Um,
somewhere warm?
like 2 degrees right
Oh,
now. Yeah, I'm Michigan.
oh. Maybe you belong in a warm weather climate.
I do.
I was like, oh, you were like in, it felt like you were like in California or Arizona or something.
I mean, I do have a voucher that I could go there.
Really?
At any given point, yeah. I'm holding off like to see where I really want to go this year, but yeah.
Nice.
Tempting when you're dealing with this weather, but I have these
Yeah.
outdoor feral cats that I'm actually feeding 3 times a day because I'm
Aw.
changing water 3 times a day because it's freezing.
Yeah.
And
It's just
so
turning into an ice ball.
yeah, yep. So about every 8 hours, I go out there and 6 to 8 hours and change it all out. So I just make sure that they're hydrated and
Aw.
they're handling it, which is kind of crazy to me. Like I even tried to get them to come into my house, and they're like, "Oh no, we're awesome. We're."
Cats are crazy resilient. Yeah. Are you in the UP or are you down in the main?
I'm more like in central, like
Cool. It feels like it doesn't want to move too much. Like don't don't rock the boat. There we go. Focus, focus, focus. Yeah, there's something about. I don't know about the sun or something, yeah. Or heat. Feel heat around my ears. Do you make music?
Do I?
Yeah.
I write a little, I sing, but I don't like actually like go out and it's kind of more in interpersonal.
You make it for yourself?
Yeah.
Cool. So you're a musician.
In some capacities.
Yeah. All right, so there's a little bit of something. I'm gonna pull that up. It looks like a heart. Like I did when I was in school I went to school for art therapy, and I was, look at all this extra stuff. I'm just removing. I feel like I'm doing some surgery. This is a little energetic surgery here.
I need to on this. All right.
Just removing some stuff. It reminds me of like a heart. But I did an art group for like introduce people to art therapy, and they were all like nursing. They wanted to be nursing students, and they were high school students. And I said, let's draw a picture of what's in your heart. And they all drew anatomically correct hearts. It was amazing. And I didn't expect it, So it was very funny. All right. And that's what this kind of reminds me of. It's a bit like very literal. And then it also feels like there's like anatomy happening here. It feels like a pelvis too. So it feels like, and then I just heard the hip bone's connected to the knee bone, which it's not, but I don't know.
I don't know if we're gonna see focus.
Yeah, and so but you know what? I think that so in order to see focus, we have to go through that. That's what it feels like. We have to go through like refinement. It feels like, okay, we're gonna just refine this a little bit. We're gonna sit in the unfocused, but look at how clean the edges are. I mean, look at compared to some of the like Anne's is smooth all through. There were yours has very, very clean edges, which is a really interesting thing. It's just I'm settling in on the energy, which is, yeah, I recognize the feeling of it. I recognize kind of this unfocused, or it's not even unfocused, it's multiple focuses. That's what it is.
There you go. Yeah.
All right. And so all it is a matter of like making a decision. So I'm going to decide to just follow this line. I'm just going this line. I'm just going to extend that line. I don't know why. Doesn't really matter. It's an entry point. And I trust that it's going to be an image of focus eventually. So why not start here? Well, there we go.
I think that's a good point. You started, right?
Yeah, you just get started.
How do you get to focus if you don't even start?
Yes, yes. You know what? That kind of looks like a key. So I'm gonna go like fun little, let's make it a key. I think, yeah, so there's what's coming up is rules. You can't do that. You can do that. This is that, and that's supposed to be like this, and those kinds of things, which are like, it feels like, so what's coming up in my process is like, you can't go over the color. You have to outline the color. You can't make it your own shape. Well, yep, I can, because obviously, because it just did, and so I think that's a part of what might be inhibiting focus is, I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if that's allowed, those kind of things. Like kind of like when you were picking numbers and you're like, well, somebody already took those numbers, so I can't pick them, but there's no rule against that, or somebody asked that question already, or those kind of things. I think we got that message somewhere, which is a screwy message, but a lot of us carry it around with us. I like that this key is shaped like the letter E. It makes me think of like energy or something. Or Einstein. It's kind of a fun thing.
Mhm.
Yeah. It looks like it's like on a little keyhole too, which is kind of neat. I found your wallet. No. This little part is really fun. That feels like coins. I think focus. What was something wanted to come through and I just kind of lost it. It was like knowing what you have, like taking inventory helps with focus too. Look at these faces on the side here. Bless you, Lou. My dog just sneezed. Oh, I wanted to say, Amber said, thank you for taking care of the sweet stray kitties. I don't know if you saw that in the chat.
Aw, yeah, that's
So
oh,
this here. So, I mean, you've watched a couple of these and you see I don't go straight for the black lines right away. It's kind of a
mhm.
rare thing that I do that. This feels like definite like decision. I'm gonna have to open my door. Hold on a sec. Can you hear my dog? She's whining. The door, she doesn't push doors open. Hold on 1 second.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Okay, Natasha, who is it? Oh, Lynn.
There you
Lynn,
go.
what
Hi,
is
baby.
that?
I
Okay,
have a friend that has feral cats, and she uses heated buckets to keep the water from freezing.
But so where are the heated buckets from? Like where did she get them? Did she
Like a farm supply, like a Tractor Supply, like a farm supply
Uh-huh.
store.
okay.
But they have to be plugged into something, but they
Yeah.
don't freeze. Just throwing that out there.
No, I appreciate it. I
That's
mean, I
awesome.
didn't even think of that. So it was just I've just been going out there, replacing it. Like I'll do that after our session tonight and go out there and I give them dry food and moist food and just keeping them, replenished because it's best I can do for them. I just feel bad.
Mhm.
They are cute.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for doing that and taking care of those kitties.
I think I rent from them. I'm not sure. I don't know if I own this place.
From the cats.
I kind of took over. They make me focus. No, there you go. Is that a book?
It is. Are you writing a book?
I'm studying.
Oh, nice.
I just started some courses that I'll be finished with for the type of work I do. Yeah, that's interesting.
Oh,
But I didn't think of the schoolwork for that, like the classwork for that. I was like, I don't know. It's just like it just reminded me of some stuff. So, hmm. Neighbor, you can come over and you can come get a couple of them if you want. I'm just saying.
Come
Close
get
by, come on over, girl.
So coins are a nice thing. I like them. Good luck, good prosperous, and so you can pay your cat rent.
They are expensive little critters. I mean, I don't fault them for anything because they take care of my property. Like I don't have rodents.
Yes,
that,
that's,
like, so I'm like, I'll take care of you guys, you know, so.
I want to, blah, blah, blah. Two people down here talking. You see that? These
Yeah,
they're like blah 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 blah. So there's a distraction there. But let's outline this real quick. So I'm going to highlight something. This is really trippy. If you change your perspective, and if you've now you're new to me, so you don't know this yet, but people ask me all the time, do you ever turn it upside down? And I'm like, no, I don't, because I read it a certain way. But I'm making an exception because it says FOCUS on the focus.
wow, that is,
Isn't it a trip?
that's trippy. That's so cool. What
Oh,
is so you think that's like a key holder on the right hand upper left or upper
yeah,
left
it looks like it's like a key on a holder.
on a holder? Okay.
Yeah. So there's
Yeah,
like,
because it's just hanging up.
can you see how it's got like this little, yeah, it's like one of those things where you'd flip your keys into it or something, I think. I don't know, that's what it kind of looks like. And then this looks like two people like putting in their 2 cents, like blah, 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 like about
Yeah, and
whatever.
they need to really step back because I mean,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
and that's true. That is, and I could tell you more, but like that's true.
And then you just, when you turn it upside down, you don't see them anymore. You're focusing here.
Gosh, I love this.
So I want to look at it too. So what the way that I read these is I look at the top and bottom. Hold on one second. So the top part, what I would normally say is like above this line is what's active in your awareness, what you're aware of. And what's below it is like subconscious. And so when we flip it, you bring the subconscious into your awareness, like, or you know what I mean? You flip it around. And then when I look at the left and right, this is internal and this is external. And so when you flip it around, you take that internal learning and you apply it. So it's like you're applying your energy to your focus from the internal to the external when you flip it around and you shift your perspective, like to literally do a 180, like turn it upside down. It kind of reminds me too, sometimes when people are struggling with artwork and they're like, it just doesn't quite look right. And they're like working from a photo reference, they would turn it upside down and then see it from a whole new perspective. So take your situations, anything that you have that you want to focus on, and turn it upside down and see it from a new, and then it comes into clarity and focus, right? And you know what? It's a key, but it also looks like a magnifying glass, I just realized. It's kind of like a magnifying glass. Like here's the circle part where and then here's the handle, kind of like for focus, for close-ups. My dog is obnoxious. Come
A
here.
lot, yeah. That's awesome.
And then the coins, like I think that's always a nice, I don't know, that just feels lucky, kind of like, you're fortunate. But circles also are about self. So it's like sometimes you just got to focus on yourself and not worry about what other people are saying or doing,
True.
Oh my God. And then that learning, that book, squares represent stability. So that's bringing you some stability. And that key holder, so holding on to that key, that's stability too.
Okay.
All right, let's see.
I love it.
Assert your creative power. We've got big old spirals. So that's what I said. You've got creativity. I feel like it comes through in music. You are incredibly gifted. Resist the urge to hide or diffuse your abilities, specifically creativity and healing. Trust your connection and the powerful insights you experience in nature. That pretty green in here. There you go.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Linda.
My pleasure. I
Yeah.
can't believe it literally showed you focus though. That's funny.
I know. I was just like, I think I'm like, yep, there it is. And it really is. It's like it's 100% there. Like that is amazing.
Fun.
Really appreciate it. And I think we got people coming over for the cats.
Aw,
Everybody's gonna help me with the kitties.
yay.
Yay, I just made all kinds of friends.
Isn't it great? Well, if you're available tomorrow night at the same time, we're doing art support group too. So
Oh, so what is that?
you'll be making art and I'll be helping you process it.
Really?
Yeah, so it's a guided thing. So I'll like show you, I'll give you instructions. You just need a pen and paper. I don't know what we're doing until we do it.
That's
But-
awesome. So
but
you literally you let us know what we're going to draw and we're all going
Yeah,
to.
so I'll
Is
say like,
everybody
do
gonna
this
be here?
thing and then you'll do it and then we'll talk about it. And you'll get insights into your whatever. Yeah. We might do the goat drawing tomorrow now. I'm thinking about it. That's fun.
So how do I get into that?
Same way you did this. So you can go to lindafabry.com and it'll say join an art support group, and then you're just gonna sign up. It's the same thing. It's free. And then yeah, there's only I think there's spots left for tomorrow, but those are very small groups. So there's only 7
Okay.
spots available.
Awesome.
So, but there's one every week, every Thursday. Today's Wednesday. Oh my gosh, it's 8 o'clock. No wonder my dog is bothering
Guys,
me.
we're ready to go outside. How do we get somebody mentioned something that they were able to get.
So I'm gonna hold on, let me stop the recording. Stop the recording. I wanted to stop the recording.